Hi, I'm Nina Foxx, and I was IMing today with another Brown Girls author, a new author, and she asked me a question about how did I find the transition between books and plays, and it was really too much to type in the time that I had. And since I keep getting this question, I thought I would make a little video blog that addressed it. I originally had one of my earlier works optioned for stage. That was Marrying Up. When the play was produced, it was not what I thought it was going to be. You know, there's always all sorts of disagreements in this business. But it was optioned by a charming man from a charming company, and we actually remain great friends today. But I leveraged my rights back and went away and thought I was done. And then the woman that he had cast as the lead came in second in American Idol, and she was very good, a wonderful singer, and made me start thinking that there was something to this business. But I knew nothing about plays, so I went to the Commercial Theater Institute in New York and took a course on how to produce commercial theater. They have a seminar series, and then proceeded to rewrite and cast and work on music and opened the show in February. Didn't know it was Super Bowl weekend then because I didn't follow football in San Antonio. And I used some local people and some national level people. You can actually see that DVD now if you want on Amazon. For a while it was on Netflix. It's actually distributed by Urban Home Entertainment now. And was just learned a lot in the process and opened the show and found creative ways to fill it. And it was an amazing process to go from what I had in my head to the page and then to the stage, because there are so many things that you can do in a book that you can't do on stage because your budget will limit you. You'll have too many set changes. And I really learned that it's really not a one-to-one transition. You have to figure out your story and what the main parts in your story and how you're going to convey it within the confines of that small space. That being said, you have to do everything from in your head, this person walks this way, talks this way, translate to finding the talent. And, in your head, everyone's beautiful. Not that the people weren't beautiful, because they were, but they don't look like what's in your head, because we have this vision of our characters, and you have to realize that stage is not film. You have to find the actors that can convey the things that you can't say, those words in between the words. In a book, we write as much as we want, but there's a trust that has to happen between you and your actor so that you know that they're going to convey what you meant. I had to go shopping for the people in my book. Now, how many people ever had to do that? Because you have to clothe them. You needed to know what they were going to wear, and that was a challenge into itself. And it's more than just buying clothes. It makes you realize that on the stage, clothes have to be made a certain way. I had to figure out how to be able to do quick changes. And then when we couldn't cast certain roles, I had to rewrite, and specifically for myself. I wasn't supposed to be in it. I'm not an actress. I don't want to be an actress, although I had fun. I had 8 lines that without Rashonda Tate Billingsley, I would not have been able to memorize. I couldn't memorize 8 lines that I wrote because I had to take a role that was male in the book, male in the play. Couldn't find anyone, and she said, recast this, make it a woman, and you do it. And it was fun. It was a challenge, but it was fun. And the funny thing was, I learned more about stage than I did remember from being in high school productions. Things like when you have to do a quick change, people walking back behind the stage naked, and we didn't have enough mics. And so in the middle of the play, Lil G from Silk, I had to open my shirt, and he had to take his mic off and put it on my body in the space of 15 seconds. And you get over being ashamed of things by then because you just didn't care. You knew that you had to be at your place when you were supposed to be. Going through that, I knew I wanted a DVD, so I had a nonprofit, which is no longer in existence, do my filming for me. And that was a crazy fiasco because we had an agreement of what we were supposed to, what the output was, what they would do, and what the output was. And midway through, I don't think they bargain for a large production. I mean, I had, professional commercials and advertisements. So people came out to see the play. And when they saw those people, it was like, oh, wait, we should have charged more money. So we had to get more lawyers involved. And finally, my masters were freed. It was like I was breaking them out of prison. And I got really interested in filming, and it wasn't the output wasn't what I envisioned, because I'd watched a lot of plays and I knew what I wanted on DVD, and there were things that I could have had done differently, I think. But I was able to move to California, not because of this, but it was just one of those things that you don't know where you're going to be led. I was led to California with my family and was able to get involved in a lot of film productions, and that was great because I learned so much more about producing a professional film. And you can look at those things, those credits on IMDb. But then I wrote another play and never produced it. I even wrote music with my good friend John Forbes. He's the absolute fabulous music director, former member of the Killer Bees. He was the early music director for Tyler Perry. He knew a lot about the industry and music, and I don't think I can sing. I karaoke, but I can't sing. But he had me writing songs and singing them, scratch tracks, so that he can physically write the music and get a singer in the studio to record them so we can have music for the play. And sometimes you want to do things, but it's not always in your time. It's in the universe or in God's time. And I have to say that producing the next play is coming in God's time, not my time, because I thought I'd do it right away. But over time, I realized some things. I realized that for my story, which was originally also written as a book, it's just short of crazy. I did a short based on it as well called Closer to Crazy. You can... sometimes going away and thinking about it is better. So I went away and thought about it and went to see a lot of plays in the time that passed since I wrote it and now, and realized that I had to take out more and change it. So I think it's so much better than the first play from a theatrical standpoint, because I was able to say, well, what is the essence of my story? What is the real struggle of my characters? And break down and make the play about that. So I even cut characters that were in the original draft of the play that are in the book that I felt weren't necessary to the core of the story, because I had to strip the story to the bare bones. And that was a good and wonderful thing. I also rethought how I feel about set. In the tradition of Black theater, in my head, I had this elaborate set and realized, you know what? If my actors are good, they're going to tell my story. I didn't want all that. So this new production, if you're in Seattle, Valentine's Day weekend, this is where you can see it live. It is more in the tradition of a black box theater, because I wanted really good actors that could convey the sentiment that I wanted. I also decided to take out the singing. Unless I could write a book like a Broadway musical, I didn't want any singing. This great music that I probably will make available. It was on iTunes for a while. I think I'll probably put it back on iTunes and maybe look at selling some of the songs, but it's just a different type play. For this one, I'm collaborating with Alma Davenport. She's a classically trained theater artist, knows a lot about story, and I think the end production is really great, and I'm excited about it. There's something about, it's sort of like when you have a character on the page and you blow air into them, they get up and walk away. That's what I feel theater was, and that's how I'm getting involved in it. Really excited. You can stay up to date on the stuff that's happening on the theater by following me. I'll do more of these, or looking on my website, which is Nina Foxx with 2 X's, dos X como la cereza, .com. And if you have any questions, just email them to me at Nina@NinaFoxx, NinaFoxx.com. No spaces in there. I'm out.